Hey y'all, thanks so much for stopping back by. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Lori Livers, and I know it looks like livers, but sounds like livers because it's just the way it is. On this channel, we talk about creating passive income through rental properties. We talk about DIY home improvement, and we talk about everything planning and organizing because in my world, that's what makes all the rest of this stuff possible. So let's get to it. One of the questions that I get over and over and over is how passive is rental income? It seems like you would be doing a lot of work to maintain the houses and maintain the tenants and all of those kinds of things. And that's not really true if you do a couple of things right in the very beginning. First of all, you must rehab the property right. And by right, I don't mean the most expensive finishes or even the most attractive look. What I mean by right is that you must make sure every single critical function of the home is in good working order before you even consider placing a tenant in that house. HVAC, plumbing, electrical, structural issues, all of those things have to be dealt with before you place a tenant in the house. Otherwise, you're going to be getting calls from those tenants when they move in. If you haven't seen my rehab video, I'll link it right up here so you can go check that out so you can see how I go about setting my rehab budget and rehabbing my property so that I can feel confident that when I do lease that property, everything is in good working order. And this is the first step to creating passive income with rental properties. Now, just because I spend a lot of time and a lot of energy making sure that the house is rehabbed properly before a tenant moves in, doesn't mean a tenant's never gonna call. Sometimes they're gonna call. But knowing that I've done everything I need to do and that house is in great condition when they move in dramatically reduces the number of calls I get after they've moved into the property. And when you're taking calls from tenants, your income can go from passive to active really quick with just one phone call. So it's important to me to spend that time right up front in my rehab process before I even lease the house out to make sure that that income that I'm going to be getting, that cash flow every month, is as passive as possible. Now, the second thing you can do to make your rental income as passive as possible is to screen your tenants really, really well. And I go over this also a little bit more in depth in my how to rent a property video, and I'll link that up here for you to check that out too. I cannot stress enough how important it is to properly screen your potential tenants. If you don't take the time to find somebody who understands it is not your responsibility as a property owner or manager to change a light bulb every time a light bulb burns out, then you're going to get a phone call every time a light bulb burns out. And every time you answer a call from a tenant, you are no longer collecting passive income, you are actively working for that income. So by properly screening your tenants, walking that property with them the day you turn over the keys, and making sure you're both on the same page about what is your responsibility as an owner and what is not your responsibility as an owner, protects the passive part of your passive income. Because your tenant understands it's not your responsibility to take care of some of these things, that it's their responsibility to take care of, so they're not calling you to get that kind of stuff done. So once you have purchased the house, rehabbed the house, and rented the house, and refied the house, everything after that point is really pretty passive. I talk to my tenants maybe a couple times a year because I stay out of their business, they pay their rent, the money's coming in, we don't have a problem. And as a real estate investor, I really much prefer to spend my time working on my business and not in my business. And by on my business, I mean I prefer to spend my time looking for those great deals, looking for my next investment property. In my business is taking those calls about the water heater. Of course, that's going to happen from time to time. But if you make sure you rehab the house really, really well right up front, and you make sure you screen the tenant really, really well right up front, then you can really reduce the chance that the tenant's going to call you because there's nothing wrong in the house. And they're great tenants that know how to take care of the little maintenance issues that are going to come up from day to day. And that's how you really create passive income with your rental properties, is by making sure you do the work right up front when you're working on your business and not in your business. So I've learned some of these lessons the hard way as a real estate investor, and that's why I wanted to share this information with you today so that maybe you don't learn it the hard way like I did. I have other videos coming soon, including a video I have coming about all the mistakes I made early in my real estate investing career. So I hope that sounds interesting to you. Why don't you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and hit that thumbs up button so that you can come back and hang out and you can hear about how I screwed up my first few real estate investment deals. I look forward to sharing all that with you. Till then, bye y'all.